Welcome to the first episode of the Community Wire for 2025. I'm your host, Michelle McMullen, and today we're diving into an exciting Swine Cluster 4 research project that could transform the pork industry. Doctors James Squires and Christine Bone from the University of Guelph are here to discuss their innovative work on eliminating boar taint without the need for surgical castration. This could be a game changer for animal welfare, pork quality, and pork production. Let's get started.
Boar taint is a multifactorial problem. There's a lot of different things that can affect the amount of boar taint in an animal. And so there is no one treatment that works in all pigs. So the key is to have a number of different treatments, and then also to be able to then identify which animals will respond to a particular treatment. I'm a professor at the University of Guelph in the Department of Animal Biosciences. I'm a basic scientist. My initial interest in boar taint really started when I tried to understand what causes boar taint, how are boar taint compounds all metabolized and all that. With the Swine Cluster 4 grant, we're now trying to bring that basic information to actual applications. We have a number of options for controlling boar taint, so we can actually take the information that we've done through all of our experiments and trials, and we want to be able to try to actually bring those to fruition. Being able to control boar taint or develop methods to control boar taint, it's going to affect pork production worldwide. I mean, that's pretty dramatic.
My name is Christine Bone, and I started here at the University of Guelph. During my undergrad, I did a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, specifically in animal science. Then I ended up looking for grad student opportunities, and I ended up doing a PhD with Dr. Squires, studying boar taint. I started more on the agriculture side growing up. My dad worked on a pig farm, a pretty big farm that actually sold breeding stock out in Huron County. And so I was really interested in the pigs, but I also had a passion for science. And so he kind of had a really cool opportunity to do mechanistic work with a very cool applied aspect.
We've been working on trying to understand the boar taint problem, identifying what the components of boar taint are and how they're made in the body and how they're eliminated. And based on that, we've come up with a number of different processes that we want to try to utilize to be able to develop solutions producers can actually use. And so we're looking at genetic solutions. We've actually developed a genetic marker panel that we can use both for selecting for low boar taint animals, and we're working on that as part of the SIP project. But in the short term, we are developing nutritional strategies to control boar taint. So our strategy would be in a very young pig to be able to take a blood sample and then by running different kinds of analysis, be able to predict whether that animal is going to end up with boar taint when it's a slaughter weight pig. If it doesn't, then that's fine. Those animals can just be raised as entire males or uncastrated pigs. If we know that it's going to develop boar taint, then we also want to be able to predict which treatment strategy should be used. Now, realizing that you can't treat every individual pig in a farm in different ways, we're looking at different lines of pigs that would respond to different treatment. We still need to work that part out. Right now, we're just trying to find the nutritional strategies that are controlling boar taint and also to develop methods for predicting which pigs will respond and which ones don't.
Stress absolutely will impact boar taint levels. The stress hormones are also steroids, just like some of the compounds that cause boar taint. And so you can have greater production and accumulation and higher boar taint levels as a result. And we see this a lot when we look at boar taint levels in animals shipped to slaughter versus pre-slaughter. The levels are quite high after they've been shipped. Environment tends to cause greater accumulation of the other compound responsible for boar taint scatol. So dirty pens, for example, with lots of manure can actually make more of that accumulate in the fat. And that could actually be somewhat of an issue for gilts or even barrows as well, because they also make it. Or even just other factors within the animal itself, the gut microbiome, for example, or just how much of it gets transported to the fat. Systems like that are very influential in how much boar taint develops.
We have swine nutritionists, we have geneticists, Dr. Flavio Schenkels, we have a behavioral person, Dr. René Bergeron, a swine nutritionist, Dr. Leanne Huber, and maybe one of the most exciting things about this is that we have a collaboration with another university, with Carleton University. Dr. Maria De Rosa is working with something called DNA aptamers. Her lab is developing a rapid test for boar taint. We have it in the format now. It looks like a COVID test. And so as part of this project, we're going to validate that assay and actually set it up in a local abattoir.
Producers can see very clearly why there's benefits in raising intact males, but they want to make sure that they can do it in a way where boar taint isn't going to become an issue for consumers eating the meat. In addition to our treatments being very targeted and really integrating decades worth of knowledge coming from this lab, with this rapid test, we're going to have a way of checking on site at slaughter plants to know if there's anything that's sneaking through. So they won't actually end up reaching consumers, and it's going to be a very effective solution overall.
So at the end of the day, what will happen for producers, if you don't castrate a male pig and you have ways of controlling things like aggression, which we're also working on, then if you can raise intact males, they produce a much leaner carcass, and they're much more efficient at converting feed into lean meat. So you're going to save on feed costs as well. They're also going to be better for the environment because they excrete less nitrogen in the manure as well, and less greenhouse gases. We're helping the pork industry to be more sustainable and actually to be more profitable at the same time.
And that wraps up today's episode of the Community Wire. A big thank you to Doctors James Squires and Christine Bone for sharing their valuable insights with us. This project has the potential to be a win-win-win for pork producers and their pigs, consumers, and the environment. We look forward to hearing more about the progress and findings as this research unfolds. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to join us next time for more updates from the world of swine research. Until then, take care and keep innovating.